All right, great. Well, I'm delighted to say back on the channel for you now. Don't forget, if you're loving all these player interviews we're getting, like and subscribe to talkSPORT End Zone, our dedicated NFL channel for talkSPORT. And live this Sunday night on talkSPORT 2, the Minnesota Vikings take on the Houston Texans. Off the back of us bringing you live coverage last weekend from a 49ers watch party, may I note, of the Vikings victory over the San
Wow.
Francisco 49ers. They threw a big party in London, Josh, and Josh Metellus with that pick of Brock Purdy, with your defensive performance, you ruined a big party for about 650 people. So I hope you're pleased with yourself.
I want to see the clips on that, man. I didn't know that was going on. But I mean, somebody had to do it, and we knew it was our chance.
Yeah, look, I know it's now midweek at this point, but are you guys
Yeah.
in the building still buzzing off the back of that performance, that atmosphere in that home opener?
Yeah, man, that was definitely something, we want to build upon, and everybody was excited, the first 24 hours after the game, but we flipped that switch pretty fast, man. We got a good team coming in this weekend, so it was key for us to just turn that page and let the past be the past, and get ready for this game to come in this Sunday.
And look, I want to talk all about that Texans game because it is huge, but just a few things looking back on last week. I, I I wonder if going into the game, like there was so much talk about how San Francisco, you dominated them the year before, but they came in banged up, no Trent Williams, no Debo. And there was kind of this discourse that, oh, this was a different 49ers
Yeah.
team coming in. Did you guys hear that through the week? Was that fuel for you guys that you're going to go, no, no, don't worry, we're going to throw everything at them again?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we knew that last year that was a good team, regardless of the players they had out. Same thing with Christian McCaffrey being out week one, and Jordan Mason goes in and fill that role, and have 100 yards. So, that's something, that they constructed the team a certain way. So, any guy could go in there, plug and play. They all pretty much, have the same roles. So we knew we beat the team last year. We just knew we had to do it again. We wanted to cement ourselves as one of those teams moving forward.
Talk us through your pick, the tip drill. I like the reason I want to ask about because I've heard you talk about it a lot this week, but what I saw watching it back was you and Cam Bynum look like you're purposely trying to tip the ball up to each other when you watch it back. Like, is that something you guys have
Yes,
to
that,
practice?
that
Is
was
that
yeah.
like a conscious thing?
Yeah, 1,000%. I think we practice it probably not too often, not as much as it may look like, but we do practice it, and that's definitely something that was going through my head, was just keep the ball alive, especially after I missed it the first one. Every tip from there was trying to get it up, and when I seen Cam Bynum, I kind of almost tried to tip it to him, but in doing that, I tipped it off of his shoulder. So yeah, we were just both just trying to keep the ball alive. We both wanted to catch that pick. I was just lucky enough to be the one to come down with it.
Did you think you had six when you turned up field?
I definitely did. I was way too close to not have gotten that paint, but next time I'm for sure getting in there.
Look, I watched your week one game back, and I was a fan of everything you did over the last few years, particularly last year. But I love watching the way you move across the field. Like you're a guy who, like, you've obviously got your keys and your assignments within the defense, but there were a few plays last week when I see you watching what Daniel Jones is doing and watching him in the quarterback, and I see you move. There was one where you were tracking a guy on a go route out on the outside, and then you moved on to the tight end and broke on the ball. And I was like, feel like I can see your brain working as you're
Yeah.
playing. Like, is that something that you're just allowed to do in the system with Coach Flores? Is that something that you've worked on to be like, you seem really smart when I watch you play?
Yeah, that's more of just my expanding my knowledge of the game. Watching film and understanding our my role in our defense. And I've been trying to work on my anticipation. That was a lot of that. When the quarterback hits his back foot and gets ready to let the ball go. What are the keys telling me? What are the route concepts? What's our coverage? Where am I supposed to be? So it's just a lot of trust in like my preparation, and obviously, it's a great scheme as well. We pretty much have a good handle on how teams are trying to attack us, so it allows us to play that much faster.
And look, you guys had a good defense in that first year under Mike Zimmer and Ed Donatel as
Mhm.
well, but it feels like you've really flourished since the start of last season with Coach Flores. Was there a moment when you realised like he could be the key to unlocking your potential as a kind of jack of all trades, as you've been accused of maybe being before, and actually becoming like a top tier guy?
Yeah, I mean, my initial goal when Flores came in was just to play. I haven't up until that point, I haven't played too many times on defense. So, my initial goal was just to get in and, play. And when I went to meet Flores for the first time and he talked about all these spots he could potentially see me at, I didn't think of it as like oh yeah, he wants me to play all of these at once. I thought of it as like, oh, whichever one I'm best at is going to be the one, I'm appointed in a way. And so I just worked hard at all of them, and lo and behold, we going to week one, and I'm looking at the game plan. I'm like, wait, we taking in all of these packages, so I'm gonna be everywhere. So it definitely was a for me. I just wanted to play ball, man. I knew if I just had my opportunities and my shot to go out there and be the person I am, be the player I am. I always labeled myself as a playmaker growing up. I just find a way to help the team win games. So I knew if I was on the field, I could make that happen. But it was Flores who trusted me and put me in the positions to make that happen.
I heard Debo Samuel, who you obviously had that massive tackle for loss on again in the game as well, but talking about how hard it was to figure out the defense. I think Purdy said the same. Shanahan said similar. Does it feel like a complicated scheme when you're running it? Because watching it is like check upon check upon check. It feels like.
No, for us, they wouldn't take anything in that was too stressful for us. For us, it's mainly to cause stress on the offense. That's the goal is to have them playing slower and have us playing a step faster, which makes it a couple more steps faster in actual live play. So a lot of the stuff we do is easy on us. I mean, we got a lot of tape out there, and we do a lot of different things. So we pretty much try to play that cat and mouse game with the offense, make them think we're doing this when we're really doing this, or when they don't expect us to do this, we're going to do the thing that they wanted us to do. So it's just a cat and mouse game. And, we're getting a pretty good handle on it. It's a team thing between the coaches and the players. We just have to figure out how teams like to play us moving forward. But yeah, it's been working really good for us.
If people are watching this weekend against the Texans or listening on the radio, what should they be watching out for? They're watching your defense because I think it's been one of the most fun to watch in the first 2 weeks. Like a lot of people talking about being the best defense in the NFL, certainly in that conversation. So, what should people be watching out for? Whether it's key players, keys to the game, like like should people, if they want to be really focusing on your side of the ball, be focusing on?
I mean, I would just tell you to don't blink. I think at any given moment, any one of us, it can be Stephon Gilmore on the outside, Jonathan Renard on the inside. We got guys all over the place, man. And I think, when we play the defense that we play, when we all trust each other and nobody's out there trying to play hero ball, the plays come out of nowhere. And that's the best part about it. We know that no matter what we do, as long as we play our keys and we play fast and we fly around, somebody's gonna make the play. And we definitely have a group that swarms. So you watch our games, you see a lot of purple or you see a lot of white, depending on where we're playing, because everybody flies, all 11 flies to the ball. And I would say, it's just a chaotic defense, but we make a lot of plays and we have a lot of fun.
You know what happens if you blink? You miss Andrew Van Ginkel jumping the route on a screen
Exactly.
and taking the ball
Touchdown.
to the
Like
house.
I did. Like I did.
He nearly did it again this week. Like
Yes.
I thought he was going to have Purdy again. I'm like that. Honestly, that play is unbelievable. I love to watch that guy, and I love to watch you guys. And as much as I love to watch you guys on the defense, like a huge amount of focus on the other side of the ball with your team this week. We've just done our one of our weekly videos we do is top five quarterbacks based purely on play this season. So we're taking out the reputation and the Hall of Fame career and everything else. And we couldn't not put Sam Darnold in the top five
Mhm.
this week. So have you been at all surprised by what he's done since he's taken over as QB1?
No, man. No, I think obviously early in his career he had some ups and downs, but the talent was always there, and I think that year he had last year of just being able to take a step back and just collect information of what he has done in the past and what he wants to be moving forward. He was able to figure out exactly the type of guy he is and how can he help teams win, and when you have a coach like Kevin to call plays for you and get you to see things a certain way as a quarterback, I think it definitely plays into your strength. And our coaching staff does a great job of playing at everybody's strength. So he's a very talented quarterback, especially with his arm. So I knew that was going to be highlighted very early in the season because we got those deep threats. on the outside. So, it was just a matter of time for everybody else got to see it. But, I'm not surprised, man. His preparation, his work throughout the offseason was top tier.
I have to admit, I had a catch up with him in Vegas briefly. I was so impressed with his whole mindset and the way he
Yeah.
approached the whole year. And Minnesota looked like a great landing spot for him the moment that's where he ended up. I didn't imagine him throwing 97-yard touchdowns from his own end zone. That wasn't necessarily what was in my mindset when I was thinking of that, though.
Yeah, I mean, when you got Justin Jefferson to throw the ball to, everything's pretty much up in the air. So you got to be ready for everything. But yeah, that was a surprise to me too. I seen him drop back. I'm like, I know that drop back. That's a 7-5 step drop out of the gun. And you just you had that feeling like he's throwing that ball deep. So yeah, it was definitely surprising. But I mean, I expected nothing less. With our coaches and our players.
I think he caught it nasty on Sunday.
Yeah,
That was definitely how
nasty,
it felt.
nasty. It was definitely nasty.
So we mentioned it, big test this weekend though. Texans coming into your building. We know CJ Stroud, he protects the ball so well, and now they've added a run game to that great passing offense of last year. So what have you seen going into this weekend? What gets you excited for this Sunday?
Oh man, I'm excited to play another good skill group. I think as a defensive back, you live for games like this where you have a good quarterback, you got good receivers, good tight ends to go against, and it's going to come down to one of you guys making the play. CJ Stroud's a great quarterback. He does a great job putting the ball out of harm's way, but also putting it where he wants to, and that's in the receiver's hands. So we got a test this weekend, but I know with our rush and our coverage, we're going to make it a fun game.
With Bobby Slowick on the other side, and that
Yep.
scheme being from that Shanahan tree, it must feel kind of like you've done your homework already.
Similar, 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, kind of. We get that feel of 2 weeks in a row. Kind of the same type of offense. Obviously, they have different players, so the skill set's a little different. Different coach, it calls it different. But for the most part, very similar in terms of how they play. The things they like to do, the how they use their players. So yeah, a little bit similarity from last week. Obviously, knowing teams are going to try to take stuff from the first 2 weeks to use it against us. So, something's going to feel very similar out there. It's just on us to capitalize.
And then from there it's Lambeau and then
Hmm.
London. Like
Hmm.
you coming to London 4-0, Josh? Is that what we're gonna see?
Hey, that's the plan, but we taking it 1 week at a time, man. I'm just trying to get to Monday 3-0 and make sure that we take things one day at a time because the season flies by. So you start looking ahead, next thing you know, we're already gonna be there, and I'm focused on this week.
Look, man, I love watching you guys play. Cannot wait for this game this Sunday night, 6 p.m. here in the UK. It is an absolute barnstormer. And then we'll see you in London in what, about 2 weeks from now?
Yup. See you in London.
Beautiful stuff. Thank you so much, Josh. Really
Thank you for
appreciate your
having
time.
me.